Hey guys, Max here, and I just wanted to show you a gun I've been meaning to do a review on for a really long time. I got this some time back, and there are people who buy guns for function, and there are people who buy guns because they're collectible. I know the difference between a collectible firearm and one to trust my life with. You might ask, why would I get this? I think a lot of you know what this is. This is in the family of the Tech-9 weapons, the infamous Tech-9 guns. They were so popular back during the late 70s and 80s. And, most of the TV shows like A-Team and Miami Vice, you'd see these things show up every now and then. Usually they were toted by gangsters. I think it even made an appearance in Red Dawn. And the thing about these things that is so interesting is their history. I wouldn't put them in the category of reliable guns, though I have never had a problem with this gun. I haven't put tons of rounds through it. I've probably put maybe 200-300 rounds through this gun. I haven't had a hang-up because I use regular ball ammo, 115 grain, which is what it's rated for. I don't go outside of the manufacturer's recommended ammo, and I use the 20-round included magazine made from the factory. I suspect one of the main reasons people have a lot of trouble with these jamming is because, one, a lot of people tinker with them to try to make them full auto like they did back in the 70s and 80s. And two, the magazines, the factory magazines, are extremely rare, like hen's teeth. I have been looking for original factory mags ever since I got this, and I never seem to find any. So there's a ton of history that you can find out about this on the internet. I'm not going to bore you with all the story, but basically, to just sum it up, Interdynamic, which is now Kel-Tec, created this design. No military or police wanted it in any significant qualities as a full auto firearm, and so they started selling it to the general public. And it works. It actually functions pretty well. But here's the problem. It really doesn't do anything that a Glock won't do. 20-round mag is a little higher capacity than the Glock 19 at the time it was released. But when you try to get these things in higher capacity, that's when they start to fall down. So 20 rounds is about the limit. I've had no problems with mine as long as I stick with the factory 20-round magazine and use the recommended ammo. Some interesting features about this is, one of the things I don't like is the magazine goes in up here. If you want a weapon to be as small as possible, you would prefer to have it go into the pistol grip so you don't have this extra encumbrance up here. But you can also use this as a foregrip. So I guess it does perform some function. It's one of the earliest weapons that came with a factory threaded barrel, though some models do not have that. California kept making laws to outlaw this, and Kel-Tec, or Interdynamics, kept designing this differently so that they could skirt the California laws and continue to sell them until they went bankrupt. This is the safety. This little cocking handle right here, you push it in and out. That's not much of a safety. It's really easy to bump that thing, and then all of a sudden you've got a live weapon if you've got a round in the chamber. But the way you work this is you can push this pin out, and then the bottom comes off. And then you slide the bolt back, you can pull this out. It's just like a Sten, basically. Those World War II British Sten guns. It's the same basic design. Big, heavy bolt. The original ones were fired from an open bolt. This is a closed bolt. This was after it was modified quite a bit by Interdynamic to keep it legal in California. So let's do a little bit of shooting with this and see how it functions. All right, here we are with the DC9. DC9 is basically designed for California. Originally it was the Tech-9, and then they changed it a few times. This is about the third iteration of this gun. And then finally they removed the threads from the barrel because that was one of those scary features that the assault weapons ban noted that was just too dangerous for civilians to own. So we got the 20-round mag. It's a pretty easy mag to load. At the time, it was considered pretty high capacity. And this thing was a competitor for things like the Uzi and the Mac 11. And you know, as a gun, it's pretty cheap, pretty easy to get. So let's fire it at the silhouette target. It has a long, creepy trigger. You could fire it from the grip if you want. I don't see personally any advantage in holding it up front. And we're empty. Just like all other times, this thing has been reliable for me. I used Blazer 115 grain ball ammo in this. It's always run fine. So I haven't had any problem with the 20-round magazine from the factory. Comes out with this little mag release right here. And it's kind of a cool little gun. You see these on Gunbroker every now and then, and they always fetch a lot more money than they're really worth. You know, you could probably pick these up for the price of a nice Glock 17. And if you're looking for a reliable handgun for home defense, the Glock 17 and a whole lot of guns would be way better than this. But as a novelty and a collector's item, it's pretty awesome. It's a really neat piece of firearms history as one of the very, very earliest of the polymer-lowered guns to be viable. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy it, and it was fun to shoot and fun to share. This is Max Headspace 9mm. Have a good one.